Good afternoon, all. On behalf of IOT Academy, we welcome you all for the 8th session of National Level Faculty Refresher Program on teaching strategies, methodologies, and technologies in HEIs. Let me introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. Rose Kavita. Dr. Rose Kavita is currently working as a professor, Department of Management Studies, New Horizon College of Engineering, Bengaluru. She has 22 years of teaching and 5 years of industrial experience. Her professional qualifications include BBA, MBA, MSc, MCom, and PhD. She has co-authored 7 management-related books and a prolific writer by publishing research articles for journals and presenting research papers for both national and international conferences. She has to her credit 5 UGC listed, 2 Scopus, 15 international, and 43 national research paper publications. She has successfully played the role of student developer in the field of learning and development. She has trained more than 3,000 employees in public sectors. She is the recipient of Best Teacher Award, Best Faculty Award, and 7 Best Paper Awards at a national conference. She is also a certified soft skills trainer, NLP trainer, and a certified situational leadership development trainer. With this, we hand over the session to Dr. Rose Kavita. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
that introduction. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. IoT Academy, when had invited for this particular session, that is on leadership skills for teachers, I was just wondering what are the different other topics that they were interested in doing. It's really amazing that they are focusing all their webinars and workshops that they are, touching upon in this skill enhancing, and this is actually a right place to explore for the teacher skill. So it's a great, amazing job which IoT Academy is doing, and I thank IoT Academy for being the resource person for inviting me and giving me this opportunity on this occasion. Okay, so just moving on to the today's topic, leadership skills for teachers. Everyone must be wondering, because a couple of even my friends have suggested, why do we need for the teachers? Why there is a necessary for leadership skills? Why there is a necessity or what is there? So I just want the participants to make it more interactive to answer these two questions. Why are the telephone greetings are so important? There are three choices which is given here. I just want the participants to answer, maybe posting in the chat box. You can just give me either number 1, 2, or 3, which is the answer. Why are the telephone greetings is so important? Either it is a first impression, or it shows that you are very happy, or it shows that you are very polite. This session is going to be very interactive. I want the participants to either unmute and answer. Otherwise, take up the exercise that is being given, and later you can discuss the results. Because the leadership skills is one which needs to be trained. There is an old age-old saying that leaders are born, but let's break it up for today and say that it can be developed, it can be created, it can be molded. So the next question is, when you answer the phone, you need to say your name and will you say the name of the company, or you just say hello, or you just say how are you today? Let me just check for the answers. So the chat box is, yeah, it's fully 1, 2, 1. You can also put fine. So the answer for the first question would be, it is the first impression. Because we are not able to see the person's face, right, in person. So it's a first impression, and that needs to go for the very first time, it needs to go in an appropriate way. So the second question is, when you answer the phone, you need to say your name and what is the second thing that you will tell? Either the name of the company, hello, or how are you today? The answer is there. It is the name of the company. Because we need to relate to which is the organization that we are associated with. Okay. So moving on to the next, concept. This is my one of my favorite, quotes, which I would like to share with you. That this person, May Brett Moser, she says she's a Nobel Prize winner in, she's a neuroscientist basically. And she says that, I was not always the best student with the highest grades, But my teachers saw something in me and then they tried to encourage me. This is something very wonderful. So we need to understand what important role that a teacher plays in a student's life. In this workshop and in the seminar, I will take you through how to develop leadership qualities for effective teaching, understanding the different leadership styles which is there for the teachers, and expectations and role of teachers for as per the NEP, 2020. So, to look into basic concepts, what is the teacher leadership? We know that leading and teaching are intertwined. They go just hand in hand. And every leader is a teacher, and every teacher is a leader. So, it is basically understanding what is the art of leading the students because we are supposed to play the role of an influencer. So, let's take it as a challenge, for today's faculty. What are the different issues that is posed for us, and what are the different problems that we are facing in trying to expose ourselves as a leader? Okay. Leadership is basically the process of influencing others in identifying and working towards a common goal. This is the basic definition. And looking upon human connections and interactions are at the heart of education. So, definitely, we need to understand some kind of connectivity needs to be established between one individual and the other. It is a teacher and a student. So let's take a deeper understanding that the role of a student, and the teacher, it is irreplaceable, especially the role of a teacher. So with this, we have certain theories, quite old, theories, which hold good. Some of the theories even holds good for even today's scenario. The one thing is the past theory, which is called as the trade theory, which evolved in 1920s. And under the trade theory, we have the great man theory, common traits, which we try to identify. And we say that, from Mahatma Gandhi to Nelson Mandela, certain characteristics, certain traits are found. That is why they are all great leaders. And then we moved on after the research that, behavioral theories, that is in 1940s, telling that, Ohio State and Michigan studies, which focuses on people oriented and task oriented kind of the leaders. So where does Infosys, CEO comes under? So we have a lot of apprehensions on that, which is the best, style that would work out for today's organizations. In today's organizations, the theory that would work out is a contingency theory, that is situational leadership. So let's look on. I have put here transactional, transformational, servant leadership, and value-based leadership. Let's take a look at that, how we can get into what kind of leadership which would work best for our students. And this is the exercise which I would like to you all to take it. There are three individuals who are standing. I just want you all to write the dialogues. What would be the dialogues? Say, for example, assuming yourself to be a leader for the class, assuming yourself to be the lead for your team. It could be any team. People think that leader means it is one particular task which is given for which I'm going to lead. Yes. If it is a conference which we are organizing, then if I'm the convener of the conference, then I'm the leader who's going to lead the team of the faculty members. That is the understanding. Suppose if I am the head of the quality assurance, I would be leading a team where my team members would be involved in documentation, would be involved in how to improvise the quality in all the dimensions which is being put forth by various professional bodies, say NAC or NDA or NIRF. So all these things are there. So assuming yourself to be the leader now, or assuming yourself to be the teacher, what are these three dialogues could be? I just want you to write only 2 to 3 sentences for each individual. I'm giving you 15 seconds. You can just think through, and write 2 to 3 sentences. We shall have that discussion once the leadership style is identified. Whether is there any correlation between your dialogue and is there any correlation between the leadership styles? Okay. Moving on to the next one concept. That is, this is supposed to be a research and a research which is really done. And this is being taken as a project, Avirata, where this particular organization makes a lot of effort in empowering the teachers in order to empower the students. They provide a lot of training program for the teachers, especially to acquire the knowledge, skills, and attitudes. And they also look upon into the changes in the demands for the 21st century. They have done a lot of neurobiological developments, how it works and how we need to talk to adolescent brains and effective communication with adolescents, how it's going to happen and what would be the positive outcomes. And also, a lot of techniques on the career guidance, how we can give, how we can mold. And I just want you all to, have a look on the statistics which is being posted here. 92% of the trainees who underwent this kind of training programs, they felt that online training was really useful for them, both for their personal and for the professional growth. And also the trainees believe that the training could be very useful for the others in the education sector. So this is one kind of survey or the statistics which I wanted to share in order to understand that certain kind of approach is really required if you really want success as a teacher leader. The National Professional Standards for the Teachers, that is NPST, it prescribes four acquisition standards for teaching professionals. So it is looking upon the core values and ethics, professional knowledge and understanding, professional practice and competence, and professional development and growth. In detail, I will discuss this in the coming concepts. And also, four competence-based career stages is being going through as a teacher. We all undergo the four stages. One is the beginner stage, another one is the proficient stage, another one they will become the expert, and then last stage is the lead. We lead the other members with the opportunities to move within each stage. So now here comes your leadership style. I just want you all to understand and let me know how you will take up this particular questionnaire. This is a questionnaire. It is a psychometric questionnaire, which I want you to take it down, the answers. And for each question, I want you all to complete the statement by choosing one of the three options, option A, B, and C, or C. So please answer according to how you would behave in reality rather than how you think you should behave. So there are 12 questions for us to proceed. I just want you all to ensure that you answer how you would behave in reality. This is me. This is what I am. Okay. Rather than how you think you should behave. Please don't answer like that. Okay. So most of us, what happens, individuals, we try to rate ourselves very high. We try to hide our the real self, but it will not work out. So I want you to write about your real self. Moving on to the question one. If there is a serious conflict within my team, if any principals are there, I would be very happy. And even team leads, if they are there, will be very happy. So if there is a serious conflict within my team, what would I do? And this particular questionnaire is being recommended by the Mind Tools, a psychometric test which has a validity where we can try to check on various situations what are the different styles that we are adopting at each point of time when we are interacting with the students. So A option is I remind everyone that we have the goals to meet. B is I bring my people together so that we can talk it through. And C is I let them work by themselves so that they don't have to bother one another. So which is the best style that you would adopt? Either answer is A or B or C. So moving on to the second question, I trust my team members. So I trust them very much. No, a little amount, that is a fair amount, or not at all. I don't trust them because I don't know. In my absence, they don't work. In my presence, they work. So what's your opinion? What's your take on this? And the third question is, some of my people are highly skilled and motivated. So if they are highly skilled and motivated, as a team lead, what I would do, because maybe I'm the head of the organization or I'm the head of the department. So I can set them free. Okay, let them weave their magic. Anyway, they are skilled, they are motivated, or often hold creative planning. Yes, if they are skilled, let me just plan for something very new, or let me, just be innovative. Let me, tap their ideas. Yes. So let me kindle the fire. What is the thought that you would have? Or are you subject to the same workplace strategies because your management may not allow such kind of creativity or innovation? And okay, let me just do whatever the same process, as everyone else. So which is the answer? You leave it to them, you will be sitting along with them, or you will follow the same set of strategies which the management has given. So this is question number 3. I hope you all are taking it down. Question number 4. The best way for me is to ensure that my team meets its goal. It's basically to lead from the front or to encourage the participation from everyone. There's a lot of understanding goes. There are 10 persons in a team and one person doesn't turn up. Would you mind calling and asking why he or she has not turned up? And then asking, you need to participate. This is very important. So encouraging participation. Would you, mind asking, seeking for participation from everyone? Or you'll just delegate often and widely? You just delegate because I know my team is capable of doing. Uh, they know the issues and they know also the solutions. So they will just take it off. So which is your best answer? So the best way for me to ensure that my team meets its goal is to leading from the front, A or B or C. Okay. Moving on to the fifth question. We have an 8-hour deadline. The deadline is only for 8 hours, but for a project. And but I think, personally, that it would require 16 hours. So what would I do? The A is I relay the deadline and let everyone get on with it. They know what they are doing. So I, keep making them putting it in practice, keep them doing it again and again. Though it is for 16 hours, the target time that is given to me is for 8 hours. Somehow I'll have to manage this. So what would I do? And I ask my team members what they feel is the fastest way to complete it. This is B. Okay, finish it fast. You have to, make it up. We just got 8 hours. So you would push them or issue instructions and deadlines to each of the team member, calling them, telling them what is their role, what is their responsibilities, and why this is necessary that needs to be done within the stipulated time. So would you answer A or B or C? See, in this one particular questionnaire, what happens is when I keep explaining, a lot of bias goes into it. So I request the participants, once when the PPT is shared with you, material, please go through this questionnaire once again and take it up in a private room so that you understand which is your best suited style. And that would give you a reflection upon what needs to be done right now and where you need to go. The sixth question is the poor performance. My team members, when they are exhibiting a poor performance, what should I do? So they should be punished so that it doesn't happen again, or they need to be talked through with an individual so that we can also learn. So I just have to do some bit of counseling, or I'll just leave it. It will work out. See, time heals everything. Okay, when you give a time for any particular problem, it will heal on its own. So I'll just leave it to that. So this is what you would do, A or B or C. And the seventh question is, I need to develop and apply a new social media strategy. So what would I do? I draw up the strategy myself and then send it to my team or tell my team that the challenges and ask for suggestions and how to meet it. Or I just simply hand over the project to my team members and ask them to come back with a plan. So which is the one that you will take? When I am asked to develop as a leader and apply a new media strategy, what would I do? I just do it myself because my members are new or my members are not skilled. So I would just, or why to take a risk? I know the strategy. Let me just do it myself. And then I will give it to my team members, asking them to do, or I will simply tell my team what is the challenges. This is the challenge that has been put forth before us. And what do you feel about it? Just give me your opinion and suggestions on that. Or I would simply hand over the project to my team members. Now, you guys are the leaders, so you just carry it forward. Say, for example, it could be organizing a conference event or a seminar, or it could be a funding project which has come up from the management. So just hand it over to them so that they take it over. And the eighth question is, I like to. The statement is, I like to. So I like to let my team make their own decisions. Or I like my team to make a decision, but not until my team has had inputs. Don't take a decision unless and until you had all the inputs, all the information from all the resources, and then you go ahead. So I want, how do I want or how do I like? So I like my team to make a decision, see, but not until I have told the team my rationale. So is the first thing I express my ideas. Guys, all of you, please listen. We have got this particular project, and who needs to be, taking up this particular project needs to be discussed. And I think Mr. X is capable of doing it. And then I leave it to you. So this is what you would be doing if you're taking up the choice of C. Make a decision, but not until I have told my team about the rationale. So moving on to statement number 9. I have a new starter in my team. So starter means who's very enthusiastic, who's highly, must be having that kind of excitement. So I let them discover the best way of working. Come on. Okay, you just start with your whatever ideas, concepts that you've come up with. Or what would I do? I just invite the entire team for collaborative meetings. Otherwise, I would sit with them until they understand the processes and the quality that I expect. So these are the three major choices that I would make. Out of this three, which is the one I would make? Again, I'm repeating. I have a new starter in my team. A new guy has joined. A new teacher has joined. So I just allow her to discover the best way of working. What would I do as a team lead? And the 10th question is, I think that great leaders, I personally think that great leaders, they know the best. That's why they are the leaders. I just would like to understand that team works in a collective way. It's the best. Always we need to work as a team. That's more important. Okay. And the C is to give them the team members the plenty of space to let them go on. So I just give you the space. You guys decide what you want to do. So which is the best style that I would adopt on? So three choices have been given. Kindly go through and mark your best. Those who have joined very late, please go through this questionnaire slowly and then take up your choice and then add up the total points according to the calculations that I will be giving you now. When asked whether I like to serve my team, serving is one of the best quality of a leader. If you think, then yes. So I don't, I'm not sure. So I asked whether I like to serve my team. Yes, I would like to serve my team. Today, I have helped one of my colleagues in finding out his Scopus article where it has got stuck. He was not able to communicate. He has sent so many reminders, 9 mails, which has not been responded by the Scopus research person. So I just had to call him and, just in a casual talk, then find out. Then immediately I just made a call to the person. And you will not believe within half an hour, we received the mail telling that his article is accepted. It is sent for Scopus Q4 journal. So when somebody is asking you to serve, I'm not so sure. Most of you might say yes, yes, wholeheartedly, telling yes, wholeheartedly, it's something very big. And frowning, with a little bit of bitter or hesitant, you just say yes. So, which is your best answer? Please answer to the real self, not what you want to be. Okay. So the last question goes, I noticed that a member of my team is demotivated. So I would closely manage each of their tasks to ensure that they are following the procedures correctly or make an extra effort to ensure that they are involved in the team discussions, or I would just back off, as they probably, they need some space. Because, see, my team, if it's demotivated, they need to understand, they need to come up with certain strategies, how they can, put it into practice. So that's up to them. So would you choose A, B, or C? Now it's time that we come up to the scoring part. Kindly note down. If you have marked, there were 12 statements. Out of each of the 12 statements, if you have marked, how many of you would have marked A? If you have marked A, calculate A into 1, all the A's into 1, all the B's into 2, and all the C's into 3. So you would have got maybe 3 A's, 5 B's, 3 plus 5, 8, plus another 4 C's, 4 C's into 3. So if that is the case, please add up your total. Everybody wouldn't have got all the A's. So now let me just unmute. Please unmute yourself and just try to interact with me, trying to share your thoughts. Can you just share with me your thoughts? Shweta ma'am, you need to give me the BBC. It is all, I just need the points. Kalai Selvi, 27. Very good. Uh, yeah, I need some more points to go through the discussion. Kindly give me the total number of points. Having a seminar, just coming and speaking what needs to be spoken, touching upon the concepts, touching upon few of the issues, and giving a general conclusion is not suffice. Is not enough. You just got to think that, how we can use this kind of applications in the real life. I will tell you why in the coming slides, because NEP 2020 has been a great initiative by the present government, and at the same time puts us a lot of pressure as the teachers, where we need to focus on different dimensions. So one of you can tell me the yes. Kalai Selvi 27 and Manzoor 14, Shweta 27. So let's move on to the discussion. If you have scored, so most of you have not scored 12 to 20 except for one. So let me just have a look at it again. It is only Manzoor, okay, was scored little less. So there is nothing less or nothing more. It is just to identify your leadership style. So you mostly commonly adopt an authoritarian autocratic leadership style, which means that at home, everything needs to be very specific. You give a lot of instructions to your parents. This needs to be there. You need to say yes or no. Just unmute yourself and tell me whether it is true. Mohammed, so you
Yes,
rarely,
ma'am.
yeah, you rarely consult your team members. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. And you also tell them what you want and how you want and when you want it. So this style works when you're in a very critical situation. But all the time as a teacher, this may not help you, or all the time as a leader, it may not be helping you. So what you need to do is try to adopt even the other leadership styles also, which I will have the discussion now. So the basic tip for you is I can just tell you, did you achieve your leadership role? Uh, you would have. But what is really required is you need to focus a little bit on the soft skills. Okay. Because if your soft skills is lacking, then you need to, you won't be able to make further collaborative activities. So for that purpose, a little bit of soft skills is required. Most of you will fall under this category, 21 to 27, which is a democratic or a participative style of leadership. There's nothing wrong, but let's see. So you get faculty members or you teachers, you leaders, you tend to set the parameters for the work and have a final say on the decisions. And also you actively involve your team members in this process. You keep asking, what is your idea? What does this say? But this style actually builds a trust between you and your people. But only one thing, and they also feel very engaged and valued. But it is not in a high pressure situation. See, generally we get very good results when we are working at a very, very high pressure situation, which is as per the research, if you see also, stress to some extent for faculty members is really required. Okay, otherwise we don't work. I don't work. So looking on that, this is a good style, but all the time we cannot adopt it. Okay, so for them, the tip would be this approach. You can set the goal, you can guide your team with further discussion, but you also need to acknowledge that your people can have the valuable insight. Every time you need to give, when you give importance to the people, what happens? The decision making would be delayed. So you got to think through what is the best style that you can adopt in certain situations. Okay. And this is the third style, which few of you would have got. And this is your default leadership style. So whichever is the high, more number of A's, more number of B's, or more number of C's, that is your leadership style. Okay. The prominent one, and that is the default. And so this is, this is supposed to be called as a laissez-faire, which means a free rein. And this is an ideal approach when your people are highly skilled. Otherwise, this is very dangerous. Because just leaving them alone to do what they want to do. And when you're working with, especially with the consultants, with a lot of outside people, because a lot of outsourcing happens even in the education institutions. So if that is the case, then it is little, I'm little skeptical about whether you can go ahead with this. Unless and until your team members are highly skilled and capable of doing the work, when to do, how to do, and what to do. So the tip for the freelancers would be, or laissez-faire would be, avoid becoming too remote. Every time giving the job to them and you telling, I let them have a space. No. So even with a high performing, high autonomous, let it be very high autonomous, no problem. But you stand there, you just watch out what are the discussions that are happening, and in what way you can contribute. And because change can occur at any time. Okay, there is a model which I have posted in the last slide, which is called as a VUCA time. Because anytime it can happen. See, we did not expect COVID, right? So anytime any change might happen, but in that particular case, going back to the initial days cannot be possible. So you need to understand right from the start to the end what is happening among the team members. Got to stay in touch with the people and communicate with them clearly and promptly. Remember, you can offer your support without becoming a micromanager. Okay, so this is one style which, as per the theory, some of you must be aware of the four leadership styles. Can you see down that is D1, D2, D3, and D4? They are all talking about the development level of the followers. If the development level of the followers is high, very high, you can just leave them, but still you need to have a watch. Just stay and watch silently how the things are going on. But if the development of the leader followers are not taking place, then you need to adopt either coaching style or the directing style, which is the best that would be fitting in. Okay. So these are the other two questions which I wanted to share with you, which you can answer slowly, no issues. What is important about your voice, either the volume, the speed, the tone, or all the above? Which is important about your voice? You can just post the answer in the chat box. Let me have a look. So which is the voice that you would like to have? All the choices, all of the above, done. Some of you have given right answers. And when putting a caller on hold, what do you need or to say or ask? If you're putting a caller on hold, I have given you, three choices. You ask whether it is okay, can I put you on hold? Otherwise, would you like to be put on hold? Do you like anybody will say, yes, I like to be put on hold? The third one is, I apologize for the inconvenience. Why would you apologize? So the answers would be all of the above because my volume, my speed, and my tone is very important when I'm delivering a speech in the class. Right? There is an inside classroom activities and the outside classroom activities. For both the activities, I need to mind my volume, the speed which I'm talking, and the tone how I'm saying it to the participants. That is your audience, your students. And the next one is if you put a caller on hold, what do you need to say or ask? Ask if it is okay. Is it okay to put you on a hold? Ask the permission. If the person is not willing, then continue. Otherwise, don't ask, would you like? Nobody would say, yes, yes, I like to, put it on hold. No one. So the answer is ask if it is okay. Okay. So as Indian teachers, Indian individuals, we are a parampara of the text thinkers and commentators. But the great tragedy is that so many of us have an ambition and so few have the ability. ICT, I know you all must be aware of, is an integration from the management point of view in regard to the strategic planning and policy making. These are some of the hazards if we don't have the leadership qualities. What will happen? I just wanted to put it as a caution because in the coming slides, say for example, one point I'm picking out from the hazards. If I fail to listen to others and if I fail to respect, I mean, if I fail to respect them, or if I fail to organize, or if I have any bias, if I'm not getting, involved in one thing at a time, if I'm getting involved in too many things at a time, then what would happen? The consequences we will, tell you. Right now, this is as per the research. There are four major types of the educational leadership which is come across. So we all know that we are all teachers and leaders of the day, and we are expected to lead by example in the way what we speak, what we act, and what we say, and what we behave. Okay, and we all lead our students through the challenging activities and the rigorous learning. So we take on additional teacher, leadership roles inside and outside, as I mentioned earlier, and looking into our development of the competencies, which has been published by the National Board of the Professional Teaching Standards. They say that teacher leadership is no longer optional. It is a part of the job. Okay. And there is, what do you call, no shortage of the teacher leadership roles which can be tolerated. And this is highly imposed on the educators. So let's understand and let's also see a few more points. What are the extraordinary things that is required for us to project ourselves as a teacher leader in the class or in our own team or towards the management? One is the community outreach coordinator. See, a transformative outside classroom leadership opportunity, it is also available. So we need to arrange for after hours or weekend events that involve the students and their families and the committee members. An event like it could be a fundraiser, it could be, a small, in an impactful way for the colleges or for the higher education schools, just to raise the money and conduct some special supplies and have, say, go for a field trip and asking the students to apply for the scholarships. In what way you can contribute, all those things you can think through and project it towards your students. So this is one way. And again, I'm mentioning the point, it is supposed to be called as a community outreach coordinator. In what way, as teachers, you will contribute towards the community as a team, you and your students. See, for teachers with advanced leadership skills, there are many opportunities in education. Okay. There is one which has been put by NEP 2020, which talks about the objectives of ABC. ABC, you all are aware, Academic Bank of Credits. Now, as per NEP, we need to have the academic or develop the Academic Bank of Credits. And the objectives of the Academic Bank of Credits is to promote the student-centric education, focus on the learner-friendly teaching approaches, implement an interdisciplinary approach, allow the students to learn the best courses of their interest, and enable the students to learn at their own pace. So multiple entry and multiple exit is possible. So this academic bank of credit is a virtual digital storehouse that contains the information of credits earned by individual students throughout their learning journey. Okay. So here I have identified four different leadership styles, which is really required for the field of education. That is posted here. It is a servant leadership, transactional leadership, emotional leadership, and transformational leadership. Transactional and transformational, I think little idea you must be having, a great transformation happens in the overall organization, both as a leader and along with the students. And a transactional is the daily maintenance. Like, say, for example, it is give and take. It's a hallmark of transactional leadership. It is indeed, I do something for you and you do something back for me. So, say, for example, if you are guiding your students for the research projects, you can tell them to add your name for the research projects, vice versa. So, that is transactional. And let's have a deeper look on the servant leadership, which is most preferred by the today's NEP 2020. Servant leadership takes the focus from the end goal to the people who are being led. Okay. So there is no sense of the self-interest on the part of the leader, but who steps back and supports only the interest of the followers. Are we doing that? Are we ready to do that? We are supposed to do what is the followers' interest. That alone we are supposed to take it and take it forward. Is it possible? So you just have to think. So for this, what we need is the guidance, empowerment, and a culture of trust, which is the hallmark of this particular style of leadership. A servant leader puts complete trust in the part of this particular process and in his or her followers, assuming that those within the organization will align with this goal, which is possible. Yes. I will tell you some tips for adopting this particular style. And the next style, which is little complicated, is the emotional leadership. In emotional leadership, what happens? Primarily, the exchange of goods or whatever. I give you something and you give me something. No, that doesn't happen. This is completely focused on what are my followers? What are they doing? How are they doing? Am I, contributing more to them? So it is more of the kind of the emotional thing, a spectrum which demands that leaders be emotionally intelligent themselves, and then to motivate through the use of that emotional intelligence. So, emotional leadership and transformational leadership, they have a great deal which is common in both with each other. So goes hand in hand. But still, we have two more other leadership styles, which is also equally, coming up because of this NEP. We are trying to identify what are the leadership styles which is we could follow. So one is the pace setting leadership. And in the pace setting leadership essentially focuses on the practice of leading by example, both inside as well as outside the classroom and setting a tone for the entire students and inspiring other teachers. Inspiring other teachers is very tough because we always have the kind of sharing the feedback and what kind of feedback we give for the others. A healthy environment, a healthy feedback is required, which should motivate the others to follow up in a productive way. Are we giving that? So pace setting leadership talks on all these issues. And the next one style would be your coaching leadership. Coaching leaders take young or struggling teachers under their wings to the mentor. So we just got to think upon and look upon a mentor. And this style of leadership is usually time consuming and requires much empathy and patience on the leader's part. So as a teacher, do you have all the time to give for your students to correct them, to lead them into the right path? I'm not so sure about it. But at the same time, as a lead, do we have anybody as a mentor in our life? That is a question which we need to think through. Do I have as a mentor? And if at all, if I'm having a mentor, is the mentor really giving the contributions as a mentor for me, guiding me, taking me to the right path? Or he or she is making use of me. And so a lot of things goes into this, coaching kind of the leadership. So these are the four major, kinds of the leadership which is emerged in the field of educational leadership. And the outset which I wanted to share with you is we have a entry of this gig economy. You know that where giggers were one responding to the marketing conditions, now they are creating the conditions. Earlier, when I used to order, how the product or the service, how it would be delivered, it was a different way, different style, which is now disrupting the traditional workforce. So gig economy describes the expanding the labor market comprised of the contract workers, the freelancers, crowdsourced workers, and others who are hired for limited engagements. Okay, and as well as they form a platform which is based on, they think, okay, ride sharing, it's carpooling, it could be, or bike ride sharing, or it could be the delivery systems, or it could be the property of the rentals, or everything is changing. In Bangalore today, we are facing that an extraordinary change in the lifestyle and the teaching style and the ways how the teachers are taking things to the class. Okay, we need to be digitally uh, become an expert unless and until and keep coping up with the market in order to be very competitive and also be independent. Independent work is growing along with the internet and expanding from development to developing economies as more of the world becomes digitally connected. This is what I was just telling for you for the few minutes back. VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So this is going to be the future. If this is the future which is being put forth before us as teachers, then what are the different steps that we need to adopt? It's, it's time out. I need to have a plan. I need to find out my purpose. The next 5 years, the next 10 years. So leadership competencies as put by the VUCA climate is I need to develop a shared purpose, not alone with me. I need to include other authors also and mention, give them the citations wherever it is really required so that my citations really increase. And this is towards the research. So like this, we need to, collaborate for the future. And keep on learning because lifelong learning needs to be adopted. And keep, on and off, a kind of the self-awareness is required. I have attended a seminar yesterday. Have I updated in my resume? I have attended a research paper and, I have got the confirmation that it is going to be published. Have I updated in my personal file? We all have academic files and personal files. Is it, updated and leading through collaboration? As I already told you, collaboration is the only way to go forward. And in the world of the uncertainty, I just would like to take, 2 more minutes to go through with the very important values. So here, MBV is management by values. Earlier, which was given to us in the form of MBO, management by objectives. And then before MBO, it was management by instructions. We had the industrial revolution during that time. During the industrial revolution, fighting for our rights and for the salaries and better working conditions, it was MBI. And during all the behavioral theories and the concepts evolved, it was MBO, management by objectives. And now today, the style that we need to follow is MVV, management by values. Accommodating your own members, team members. And how do you, take the work from now on? In order to maintain the friendships at work, I just, casually call, not for work purpose. I just casually call to my colleagues. No gossips, no grapevine, or which I call to my colleagues and talk to them on a short range basis, asking them. So in order to find them, and if it is possible, I enrich their skills and they enrich mine. So that should be the kind of the environment that we need to create for future. I've given few examples. Say for example, a sports coach, who has lost his income due to the closure of the gym. Now again, we all have come forward to help him out. This is one which my organization has done. And say for example, somebody is not aware of taking the online sessions. We can help them out. So in economic way, in an emotional way, in an ethical and social way, we need to help each other in the upcoming scenario. PDP is one of the program which is promoted by NEP 2020, which is jointly offered by IGNU. All of you can register for this. And very wonderful programs, wonderful modules is being put forth. And it provides a comprehensive, sustainable and reformative roadmap for paradigm shift the entire education system in the country. You might think, without understanding, we might tell, so many things are being put in NEP. It is nothing. I will tell you in a very simple way. These are the 6 steps which, if we are able to adopt in our day-to-day routine life, then we are the leaders for the future. Okay, so let's try to focus on these six expectations which has been put forth by NEP 2020, and very clearly they define the role of the teachers. I just want to touch upon the expectations about the teachers, where the first one is we got to teach in a learner-centric way, focus more on the students, help the students to relate to the content by including anecdotes, the case examples, and the real life incidents. You all might be thinking, so many things, so many roles. Do we have so many hands to tell that and bring it to the class? Yes, it is possible. It is possible if we have a very good time management. Saturdays, I do only the research work. Sundays, I do only Sunday morning. We have a very good fresh time. I, just focus only on my funding agencies. And Mondays, back to college, I focuses on the class. Tuesday, I just focus on student projects. So each day, when you are planned and putting that into practice, it happens. Of course, nobody can be a perfect, in streamlining, but still make an effort. The first step, you can make an effort and start providing suggestions for the students. Many a times I have seen professors may not have the material, right material, where to refer. The teacher himself or herself, I would have heard saying that I'll come back to you. I'll tell you what is the reading material. Suppose if you have a box file of your own with all your materials, which is, in VTU we have an academic file, the 30 instructions which is given how we need to file in the similar way which we are adopting in the same way, then it is easy to help for the students and tell them, you design these activities and come back to me. I will help you in how to conduct it for the class. So always give them a topic which is, related where they can form a club, where they can do some kind of activities and then they get back to you. So teaching, please teach in a learner-centric way and practice a formative assessment. This, I would like to highlight only one point. There is something called as an higher order learning, such as analysis, critical, thinking, according to Bloom's taxonomy, and the conceptual clarity instead of the rote learning. So how do I, imbibe the critical learning in the student's mind? It's a very big question. Unless and until I put it in practice, I may not be able to take it to the class. That's why I said, please have a box file. So all these six practices, if we are able to do, say, for example, supporting the students for learning, providing them a wonderful counseling session. Why everybody can't? If you look into the Western culture, every degree that they provide, they have one course which is called as, or one particular subject called as a psychology, which is a must. And still you can be um, asking, Madam, why those psychologies there, a lot of shootouts and so many, uh, it happens. So it helps. So let's understand that, supporting the students both mentally is also equally important. And the normal support for the students, I would say that you can strengthen the students by giving them the importance of the technology. Here, actually, the expectations from teachers regarding using the technology is that we are expected to use integrated technology. That is, into the instructional processes, enriching our content, not just simply going, for the offline class, taking the attendance and conducting the class. It is basically online. Also, you can take sometimes. Online can be, you can conduct it, in the evening, you can just simply, post a Google Sheet document for them to take up a quiz. You can go to the Google suite, and if you have your own, you can create your own blogs. And if you have your own blogs, you can share it with the students. The materials, everything can be put in Google Sites. There is option called as a Google site. You can just Google it. So it provides a wonderful platform for the teachers to share whatever they are doing to the students. You can post your old question papers in that platform, Google Sites. Okay, so shift to the blended instructions. Don't stick on to the old methods. Okay, and also motivate your students to access the e-content and enriching learning. So also teach them what is meant by copyright, what is the moral and legal health issues which is associated with technology use, because otherwise too much of anything is not good for the health of the students also. So moving on to the strengthening of the students in terms of the research and promoting a research culture. How would you do it? It's a very big challenge. So much of pressure from converting the projects of the students to the research articles. So be a change agent in promoting a strong culture of research and innovation. We need to imbibe that in our day-to-day practices. I said, like every Saturday. Sometimes alternate Saturdays is a working day for us. So the remaining alternate Saturdays, I just sit only with research. What is the topic that I need to do? Go through all the conferences, the conference proceedings, which is the topic which I can select and which is a topic which I'm very strong enough. And for that particular topic, which is the journal where I can, really prepare and then send it, I first of all analyze the probability of the acceptance of the research article and then only I send it. If the probability is more than 50%, where I'm confident enough, yes, I will get through, then I give a try of sending it. But before that, I keep it with myself. There are 6 articles which is still pending, which needs to be, revised again and again, and aim to publish the research findings globally. Don't keep it with yourself. You do that. I'm giving you this, I've given you the mind tool right now. So obviously, it's not promoting about that particular site. It's just promoting about the sharing of the knowledge. So once you're through with this, you will aim in publishing your research findings, which can be globally recognized. So start exploring the avenues and engaging the continuing the professional development. The last most important thing is the professional development activities. Since knowledge of content, pedagogy, and the technology of use is evolving, and the policymakers, what happens? We need to get ourselves engaged in the professional development activities. It could be associating yourself with FTCCI or NIPM, National Institute of Personal Management, any body associations like NIPM, National Institute of Personal Management, anything. Try as much as possible to involve yourself as a volunteer. Don't tell me, ma'am, we don't have time. Yes, we do. We need to find time where we need to fit in, participate in as many seminars and conferences as possible, and exchange the research findings and views. And start writing regularly. It is high time. Small articles, small ideas which just comes in your way, and start, not for money. Money is not going to be a motivator for any point of time. So just put it on the blog post and to share the views about the different issues. Somebody is giving you a feedback, accept it positively, and try to think through whether it is, acceptable, and have some social and academic relevance in whatever you write. Social and academic relevance is equally important. So in this slide, I have discussed 6 prime expectations of NEP 2020 from the teachers who are teaching across the country. The faculty's roles, in these expectations are to teach in the learner-centric way and practice the formative assessment, supporting the students and learning and understanding and engaging in research and promoting the research. And usage of the technology and assessment is very important because, see, for assessing the students, why generally it is a hard copy and why we have to put tick? It's very strenuous. Why don't you in certain things, say for example, when you're conducting the quiz, assess the quiz through online. So that is another way of doing it. So to conclude, all said and done, trying to pin down what makes an effective teacher to be a leader can be a little like, trying to eat soup with a fork. But if the group of academics is coming up with what looks like a good list, this 6, activities or the expectations which is being put forth by NAP, if I'm able to follow, then I'm going to be an awesome leader, a teacher leader, and let's understand that no one approach is right for the leadership qualities. No one right. We need to blend all the leadership qualities and all the leadership styles as and when it is required at the right point of time, and make the most effective technique we need to use is, each time when it is required a democratic type of the leadership style, accommodate that. When it is laissez-faire, go ahead. When it is autocratic, go ahead. But the understanding of what type of leadership style is required at what point of time, that understanding is very much required because leadership involves skills that are very much learnable and we do not have to be born. So, how to be a better teacher, reaching out to the students in the 21st century, is a great question mark. No, not anymore. Being able to connect with students authentically is just one of the best skills that teachers need to be very effective. And learning to receive feedback, there should not be any bias. And teaching the students in an online forum can also help, both your professional growth as well as the students' professional growth. So I thank IoT Academy at this juncture for providing me a great platform to share my views on leadership skills for teachers. The session is open for the question answers. I'll be happy to take up any questions. Thank you.
The session is open for discussion now. You can unmute and interact with the resource person, or you can post a question in the chat box also. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Aparna madam has messaged that, I have joined one called Indian Knowledge Systems, IKS. Yes, that offers this PDP course, Professional Development Programs. Very good, ma'am. Even I have joined for that. They give you some kind of assignments in the end after attending 8 to 9 units. So thank you, one and all.
Any questions? You can post it in the chat box also. I'll read it to ma'am. She's here to help you.
Shivkumar sir, any questions? Like Shelby madam has posted very quite interesting session, ma'am. Very knowledgeable and practical. Yes, I could have had it as a very conceptual one, but that is what is not required. Those who have taken the assessment of this psychometric test, you can check. Those who have not taken, PPT is shared with the IoT Academy. Kindly ensure you take it up. Sheenul Islam, thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Any questions? I think there are no questions from your side, ma'am. Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
On
Thank you
behalf
so much for the invitation.
On behalf of IoT Academy, we thank Dr. Rose Kavita ma'am for the interactive, informative, enlightening, and enriching session, ma'am. We thank you once again for the amazing and informative presentation. We thank you for enhancing our knowledge with the commendable presentation, ma'am. We thank you very much for your efforts. I thank all the participants for joining the session today. Kindly fill the feedback form using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your efforts, ma'am. It was an amazing session we had today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Any questions, you can reach out to IoT Academy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, ma'am.